Nicholas the Pezant Pezarro coming to you with Game 4 of LGD versus CIS game. So right now it is 2-1 in this hotly contested series. CIS picking up the last game with a dominant performance by Black on Axe. We'll see who ends up grabbing this game. Yeah, I don't know. I'm kind of curious. I don't know if we'll see any bans on Axe this game if LGD doesn't feel like playing against Black's Axe like that, but probably won't be picked again because it was kind of a surprise pick, and it's difficult to make that work 2 games in a row. So CIS banning out the Lycan. Lycan was a bit of a problem even though he got pretty much destroyed and his team got destroyed early on. So they banned the Lycan, they banned the Lich. And LGD is going to ban the Invoker and the Bat. Bat is standard ban. Invoker probably because he was such a problem with EMP and really just dominated the team fights that they were in. So CIS has the first pick. We'll see if they pick up something like Ancient Apparition. That's been pretty popular. Oh yeah, I guess right. So they pick up the Ancient Apparition for the first pick. A solid pick. A great laner. Chilling Touch. Ultimate very good for team fights. Cold Feet. Situationally good, but just a pretty solid hero all around. His only real weakness is that if he does get initiated on by something, he dies pretty quickly and there's not much you can do about it. So this time LGD has a chance to counter with 2 picks here against the first pick. A little bit more difficult to counter, but you can grab something like a Dazzle to prevent the Shatter from taking you out. So they go for Sand King. They're looking for a more aggressive team fight here. Sand King, an excellent hero. Juking potential with Sandstorm. Can't farm in the jungle as well with Sandstorm. His ultimate always a powerful factor in team fights if you can get into the team fight in time. And with a Blink Dagger, his stun potential range is huge because you blink in and then stun off of that. That's a lot of initiation power there from the Sand King.
10 seconds remaining.
Generally, when you watch the pros play, they actually don't level Caustic Finale, which is the ability that makes creeps explode and do damage when you kill them. They go for stats instead and get it later on because he's more focused on using his spells and stuff in team fights. There are some fun builds though where you can go mid as Sand King and level up Caustic and then like Burrow Strike through the creeps and blow the other mid player up when they aren't expecting it. But that's not really... wouldn't say it's a competitively viable strategy. And they're going to grab the Clockwork. Clockwork, a really strong offlaner, has been popular and still is popular because he just has so much versatility. He's got great initiation potential and actually does a ton of damage once he hits level 6. If he's able to hook in onto you, throw the cogs down, and then use his battery assault, there's not much you can do to escape. CIS countering with Centaur. Centaur is a good pick here because he can help he can help CIS spread out and avoid the Sand King ultimate. Can also stand up a little bit to the Clockwork, although it's unlikely they'll be landing against each other.
10 seconds.
But just he's been very popular as well in the offlane, given the fact that he has his return ability makes him difficult to harass down by ranged supports. And once you get Tranquil Boots has actually pretty high move speed and is quite durable. So as an offlaner, those are valuable characteristics to have. We're waiting to see what the next 4 bans are going to be. I imagine there's going to be a ban on Lycan's already been banned. I don't know. Maybe CIS will ban Shadow Shaman again. Not sure if it would fit into LGD's game plan. They will have a solo offlaner here, no jungle. They're going to ban Dazzle.
Dire team ban.
Dazzle effective against the Ancient Apparition, so it makes sense there. LGD going to ban the Naga Siren. I imagine CIS has a player who's able to play Naga Siren quite effectively, and they don't want to deal with that again. I wonder if LGD is going to pick up something like a Treant for DD again. They seem to like playing the Treant Protector. Not sure if it will be applicable in this matchup here.
Remaining. 5 seconds remaining. Reserve time.
CIS actually going into the reserve time here, looking for a ban to make. Probably, I imagine they're carefully considering their next set of 2 picks, and they don't want to have a hero there in the pool that's going to be a big problem for them to play against. I don't know if you guys noticed, but during that last game, it didn't lag. So I've actually managed to fix my lag problem, thankfully. It was frustrating me, and I know it was frustrating you very much. I don't blame you. It's really annoying to watch a game where it hangs every few seconds, especially during team fights. So yeah, it's nice. Now I can just focus on improving my casting and not have to worry about it lagging as well. But yeah, wow, CIS really digging into the reserve time here, trying to find a ban. They're going to ban Slark, an interesting pick for a ban. Funny way to say it. But yeah, Slark's a very strong hero. He, if you don't have a lot of AoE on your team, you can pretty much run rampant and use Shadow Dance whenever he likes to escape from many situations. And if he does get the initial momentum, he's very hard to stop. Somewhat similar to a Storm Spirit or an axe or something like that. Just does a lot of damage all at once in a burst. So LGD going to pick Dragonite. Dragonite likely going to be a mid hero, not very strong in lane because of his dependency on mana and levels. We'll see who CIS chooses to lane against him. They do get rid of the OD because OD is a bit of a problem for a Dragonite. Leaves him with no mana to use his spells. His spells, especially his Dragon Breather, would allow him to
10 seconds.
contest the mid lane because he's able to secure last hits even though he's melee, and if you land your Dragon Breath properly, you actually do quite a lot of damage to the opposing mid hero. So it makes sense to get rid of OD because Dragonite with his very limited mana pool, just 1 Astral Imprisonment would probably leave him unable to cast his Dragon Breath. So I imagine CIS is probably going to pick their mid laner as a 4th pick. And for now, they're going to look to... Oh, so they go mid laner as their 3rd pick, actually. They're going to counter the Dragonite with the Puck. Puck, a pretty decent counter against Dragonite. Has Burst and Escape. Can use Phase Shift to dodge Dragon Breath. Probably why they picked up the Puck. One problem, though, is if Dragonite does manage to close and uses Stun, Puck, if he has Orb, won't be able to phase into his orb further away, and that would eliminate his potential to escape. So we'll see if that comes into factor in the mid lane. LGD grabbing Rubik. Rubik, a strong hero against all 3 of the heroes on CIS's team, actually. All have spells that are worth stealing. And if I was a Rubik player, I'd actually be pretty excited for this game because sometimes you play Rubik and there's not much for you to do other than use your spells, which are already powerful, but there's not much for you to spell steal, so it's a little bit boring. Rubik here would be a pretty happy Rubik. There's lots of options for him. We'll see who CIS chooses to pick here. They're still looking to get their 2 last heroes in the tri lane. Going to pick up Morphling. Morphling could potentially go mid, but it's probably going to be Puck mid. People like Morphling a lot. I don't like Morphling very much. I find that he's pretty ineffective. He gets levels, and he needs a lot of farm, and then he can kill people, but there's a ton of heroes who can do that, so I don't quite understand the infatuation with Morphling. It might be because he can use his ultimate to go push a lane and then jump back in, be ready for a team fight, and the fact that he's quite tanky with his stat shifting, but still, I'm not convinced about Morphling. We'll see what happens. Maybe they'll convince me. I'm still not convinced. It's going to get to like TI4 finals and people are going to pick Morphling and he's going to cause the team to win and I'll be sad. LGD getting rid of Mirana. Mirana could be a potential lane mate, but it seems unlikely to me. I'm not sure if that ban was necessary because it's likely going to be sent to our off lane, and if you put him in lane with Morphling and A, well, I guess it could work. So they're just looking to get rid of a hero that they find would be pretty annoying. LGD going to grab their last pick. This is going to be their carry unless they go for a weird build where they don't really have much of a carry. Dragonite can carry and probably will, but generally they pick a 2nd hero here to supplement their late game. Another core per se. Sand King, Clockwork, Dragonite, Rubik. Who are they going to pick? They need someone who's not too vulnerable to getting bursted down, because there's a lot of damage coming in there during team fights with Centaur's ult. So they're going to grab Weaver. Weaver is not super tanky, but he has really strong early game potential. Will synchronize well with Rubik and Sand King. That's a pretty dangerous lane to lane against, including potential flares from Clock to add in the damage. And although Weaver is not the most durable hero, he serves a role similar to Slark's in that with his ultimate he can sort of slip back to another spot. Very hard to kill. And CIS game, the way they have their lane set up, they're not going to be able to pick something like a Doom to counter the Weaver unless they really want to sacrifice their landing stage. So they're going to grab Skywrath Mage support. This is interesting. We haven't seen a lot of Skywrath Mages being played. I like Skywrath Mage because of his accent. He has really awesome accent. But he's also a pretty great hero. So we'll see how this goes for CIS. I mean, they have a fighting chance. I feel like LGD does have a better lineup here. Interesting, Lin is going to be playing mid. Rabbit is going to be on farming hero, similar to what they did last game with Lin playing the Lycan mid. He's probably going to have a better time of it than he did against the Invoker. DD on the Sand King, DDC on the Rubik. Generally we see this kind of setup. Yao as the offlaner. DD takes the more durable, a little bit more farm heavy support, and DDC's playing the one with he's playing the 5 roll, and oh no, they throw a ward down in the base. DDC having forgotten that it's a control click now to drop the ward, so LGD is actually going to be down a ward. They're not going to have any sight top. They might be okay, but we'll see how it ends up going for them. Yao actually moving out solo here to place his ward, and he might be in trouble because CIS actually moving 4 people down there. June's going to go ahead and throw a ward down here for the mid early on. And this is a cool set for Centaur. How do you... Wow. That's a pretty cool set. I like it. Anyways, Yao is just going to throw a ward down there. He doesn't want to die.
30 seconds to
And he's going to have to play it really safe against this lane. That's a lot of bursts coming out from them. And it's going to be... Oh, okay. Will it be black mid? Looks like it's going to be black mid. So, as I was wondering, Inflame's actually going to go bottom, and it's going to be Morphling against the Dragonite mid. So we'll see how that matchup happens. It's funny. It's like they're trying to prove me wrong here with their lanes, doing a little bit outside of what I was expecting. So Lin against the Weaver, sorry, not Weaver, Morphling mid. Morphling actually has very low health but very high attack damage. Going to be hard for Lin to match the attack speed and the attack damage there when trying to last hit the creeps. DD actually going to pick up an invisibility rune, and they do have a ward here, so they're aware that DD's coming in. Black has to make a decision here. Is he going to keep farming or is he going to back up? Because he could potentially fall, and he's just going to play it safe for a little bit, hang back. This sort of messes with his plan to use his high base damage to his advantage. DD, I think, is aware that Black knows, but he's going to hang out here and wait to see if Black does move forward. They could still make him they could still take him out potentially. So right now Lin's going to be leading on last hits, obviously. Black actually hasn't had an opportunity to get any yet. DD wants to make something happen. Black going to go in and stun on top of that. They're going to beat on him, but Black's going to get away. But that puts Lin at actually quite nice advantage mid, which otherwise might not have happened. And DD's going to cycle top, I think. Not much point in hanging out here. He might be waiting for another stun. They're looking to see if they can get another opportunity here on Black. Black quite low on health still. Only has 300 health, but he's used the Tango and he's healing up. DD actually running behind the tower to hit Black. Not sure if it was worth it. Just wanted to get his damage off, so he's going to back up. Meanwhile, Lin making some good progress. Does get his bottle, and he's having it ferried to him. Yao managing to get a little bit of XP here. He is level 2. Skywrath wrapping around the back. Yao using his flare. Might be in trouble. Demon's looking to... Oh, okay. He's going to be alright. And this is just kind of a dual lane right now. Io is waiting to camp the bottom rune. Going to try and help out his mid by denying the rune to Lin. And Lin is pretty happy camper. That was an excellent start for him. He's going to go ahead and take this last hit up here top, pretty much guaranteed. Although he's neglecting his denies, which is kind of silly for him to be doing. Io does spot the regen rune bottom. Lin knows it's there, and I think he knows that. Is he? Yeah, he knows Io's there as well, so he's probably not going to bother because as soon as he goes to get it, Io will deny it. Doesn't quite get the last hit there. DD running in on June. June might fall. Weaver manages to avoid getting stunned, and nice bolt there from Rubik. Finishes him off. They're rotating mid. They're going to try and kill Lin, but Lin is already home free, and he's looking to... He pulls the courier back, then he drops the bottle. Courier's going to run back. It's going to be very, very slow right now because it has the empty bottle on it. There'll be a flying courier soon to bring the bottle back to him. So right now, LGD doing very well in their lanes. Puck is getting a lot of last hits, but 2 last hits for the clock is pretty decent. And Weaver's leading pretty far ahead here. He's got 9 denies, 19 last hits. And he's starting with a Ring of Basilisk, so he's got the mana regen to harass June down quite nicely. That early death on the Centaur, not fun for him. And they actually, I'm pretty sure they built their lane like that with the Weaver, with the Rubik, to fight against the Centaur more effectively. Yao trying to prevent, using his flare to prevent the denies from Inflame. Doesn't manage to get the last hit there. Tricky the last hit on the tower when you have such low base damage. Lin taking advantage of the Bottle Crow. Gonna actually send the courier back again, this time with 1 charge so it doesn't get slowed down. Uses the aggro to pull the creep back, looking to last hit it. Tries to deny, messes up a little bit there on the deny. And June, not quite sure what to do with himself. Kind of failed their top lane. I think Yao is going to pull. He's starting to stack. Eventually Dragon Knight will be taking those stacks once he gets AoE damage. And he's also going to go ahead and see if he can grab the rune there at the same time. But he's actually put himself in a risky position. But he's looking like he's going to get away. Actually getting some bonus damage on Demons there with Chilling Touch. Puck is... I'm not sure what Puck is doing. But this is the problem with Ancient Apparition. He has Chilling Touch. He does do a lot of damage, but there's nothing he can do to contribute in that situation. If he had a support with the stun, they probably would have killed Yao. Later on, he's looking to pay off. He'll probably be looking to... And there we see that Dragon Breath. Secure the last hit and get the damage on the mid-hero. It's a nice combination. Lin wants to bottle the Crow again, but the Crow is currently being used. And DDC actually wrapping around here, getting some damage on June. And June actually doesn't have return yet. He's decided to go for his other skills first. Yao, patiently waiting. Not much you can do here. Avoids the orb from Puck. He's just kind of here for the experience. And that's the role you play as an offlaner. Not too much you can do. Lin, low on mana, can't kill the Morphling, but beating him down and really making this his lane. He wants to get, I'm assuming he wants to get the courier. I wouldn't be surprised if he pulled it down to do a Bottle Crow, but I think he's waiting actually for DD, using his Sandstorm to get the farm in the jungle, like we mentioned earlier. I think he's waiting to see if which rune will come up before he goes ahead and commits to Bottle Crow, because if his bottle is on the courier, then he's not going to be able to grab the rune and put it in his bottle. Makes sense, right? So even though Black is behind, we see that the high base damage he's getting from his Agi morph is helping him a lot. Besides, I think he's okay. So Lin actually not going to wait for... yeah, he's going to wait and see if he gets the rune or not. He's going to guess top rune. If he doesn't get it, he'll throw his bottle on the courier. And he doesn't get it. Io's... he knows Io's there, and he's just not going to bother with trying to contest that bottom rune. Just going to go ahead and throw his bottle back on the courier. And I think he's moving... Now he's moving top. They're going to use their Dragon Form and take out the tower there. DD taking full advantage of his Sandstorm to get a lot of... kills on the jungle creeps here. Makes us Sand King a very strong support because he's able to get that farm that you wouldn't otherwise. Yao getting initiated on, gonna wanna, gets ulted by Clock. He's probably gonna fall. He tries to run away, but he takes too much damage. Meanwhile, Weaver killed June top. Lin actually came in from the side here, I think, and got the stun off on Centaur, pretty much cementing his death. So both the offlaners fall at the same time. They're going to look to push out top tower, and there's 4 here versus the 2 bottom. Demon's very low on health, going to have to TP back. Black here taking advantage of his respite, getting a little bit of farm, but I think top tower is going to fall. The poison from Dragon Knight's Dragon form doing a lot of damage. Takes a bit of the damage to tank. He's going to heal that up with his blood, and he's got the bottle coming back to him. So they're going to take top tower. No last hit for anyone, but still that's a lot of gold coming into LGD's favor. Looking at gold, LGD now 1,500 or so ahead. Yao's going to take advantage of the farm mid here. He is a little bit at risk of being beat up by Morphling, but he has cogs and he's pretty tanky, and he's going to have hook up somewhat soon, so he can hang out here without too much fear of getting destroyed immediately. Meanwhile, Lin going to move here. Looks to, I think he's going to try and cycle mid. Clock trying to build up some damage here. Oh, and June picks off the Weaver. Nice sentry there. They kind of team up on him as a group. Puck getting the silence off. No, not... Yes, getting the silence off, preventing him from being able to escape as he normally would. Yao checking bottom room for him. Not going to... Who got the rune? Someone destroyed a rune? I think Demons destroyed the rune top. Sand King continuing to farm, having the time of his life, and he's probably going to get a Blink Dagger once he clears these creeps out. He's quite close. And this just like showing you, Sand King once he gets a Blink Dagger, just so much more effective. And the Sandstorm letting him farm up that money that he wouldn't really be able to otherwise. This creep stuck over here. I wonder if that's going to block the camp. That's interesting. I've actually never seen that happen. So Lin's got 2 mid, but he's pretty tanky at this point. Has 1100 HP. And not overly worried about dying. Bottom tower hasn't fallen yet. LGD with a tower advantage. Rabbit going to keep farming. He has a hand of Midas, so even though he got killed, he's looking pretty good in terms of farm potential. And got all his items figured out. Has a TP in case he needs to peace out quickly. Centaur does now have a point in his return, and he's chosen to level up his double edge for the burst damage. And CIS actually has like their whole team hanging out here behind the tower. Not sure if it's going to end up being productive. Lin doesn't manage to land that last hit on with the creep getting attacked by the tower. Not quite enough damage. Yao considers flaring there for a second. Decides not to. Gonna grab those 2 last hits instead. Nice choice by him. And they're smoking bottom. They're gonna see if they can pick off some people here. Meanwhile, CIS actually smoking bottom as well, so it's going to be 4v4, and we'll see what ends up happening here. Sand King does not have Epicenter leveled, interestingly. Goes in for that Blink Initiation. We see the power there of the Blink Stun, and CIS actually just has to abandon the Centaur. They can't even help him out, and they just have to back up. Rabbit quick with the invisibility, manages to avoid a gank from CIS. They're going to look to take out this bottom tower, taking advantage of Dragon Knight's form to continue pushing. Rabbit's going to grab the DD and probably go on Morphling mid, get some damage in on him. He has that DD, so he's going to be hitting pretty hard. Oh, jeez. Look at that. And he can actually... minuses, chooses not to chase. That's another tower in favor of LGD, and they've been farming pretty effectively. I imagine that gold difference now building up to 3,000. As you hit the 5,000 mark, it's time for CIS to really start to worry. They can turn this around with some team fights, but so far LGD's shown themselves to be a little bit more able to take kills. Ouch. DDC getting a kill on the puck bottom. Again, that combo. A lot of CC here. You got the hook from Clock, who didn't actually have to use it, but the hook from Clock, the stun from Rubik, the stun from Sand King, and the distance there on that initiation. With Puck being such a squishy hero, pretty difficult for him to avoid an untimely death. And I'm imagining they might actually consider wrapping around here. DD actually taking advantage of the stacked camp. Not sure who is stacked for, but he's going to take that experience and gold and continue farming up. Rubik grabbing a waveform, going to help him with initiation. He does have mana to use all 3 of his abilities, so that's a lot of burst coming out there with like 500 and oh my gosh, 500 some damage in burst, plus a stun. Black chooses here to tank up with a little bit more health, so he will be hard to take down, but LGD might just push another lane. In Flame here, they've smoked up again. They're looking to find someone in the jungle. Yao might get picked off, but they have no sight here on them. And DD's actually backed up. Meanwhile, Rabbit continues to farm. He's having the time of his life here on the Weaver, just killing Killing creeps, it's happy days for him. Finishes power treads, has his hand of Midas, has his ring of Aquila. I'm not sure if he's gonna. I think he might try and. No, he's not gonna go ahead and try for that. Skywrath Mage actually gets a pick off on DD. DD did go and grab an item from the side shop, finished his arcanes, and went back into lane, but got killed. The silence there from Skywrath quite deadly. I'll have to take a little bit of a closer look here at the minimap, try and catch more of those engagements. So it's a kill, but it's not a huge kill because Sand King actually just spent all his money. So, oh, and they get the stun off here. Gonna pull him back. He is using his strength to morph health. Rubik actually gets the Rubik gets the strength gain from morph, and I think that this actually applies continuously. So Rubik could just tank up a whole bunch here and. It would pay off quite nicely for him. I wonder if they changed it. I'm not sure if they changed it. But now Rubik suddenly has a bunch more health. Sand King manages to pick off here on June with the Blink Initiation. So powerful. Clock gets a hook off. Hits IO. Poor IO. Ancient Apparition really vulnerable to getting initiated on like that. DDC wanted another spell. Just got the morph again. Gonna pick him up. They're gonna try and hold him in place long enough. Not sure if they'll be able to finish him off. Rabbit uses his ult to save himself a little bit of health. They're going to continue chasing. Eventually, Black's going to run out of strength and morph, and I think he has actually. So he's going to fall. Morphling falls. A lot of TPs on the tower. Yao using his cogs to harass anyone who comes in. Kind of block them from initiating nicely. And they managed to get out pretty much scot-free, although they do have two behind the tower. DD running in here. Centaur finishing off DD with his culling edge, but that's still 3 down for CIS and 1 down for LGD. They're going to take mid tower. They pushed him back. Rabbit continuing to chase on June. June does not have any form of escape. He's going to fall. Rabbit with another kill, and he's just continuing to build. He must have just a crazy amount of net worth. He's 3,000 ahead of the closest CIS player, and they're looking pretty good. They've got 4 of their 5 players in the top 5 on net worth. Just continue building on that income advantage. We'll see if Rabbit chooses to build a survivability item like a Lincoln's or just go for a oh, DDC got double edge, so that's a ton of burst damage there if you can get in and close with a 400 plus his now maxed out 680 base damage. And I don't think he kept the strength gain morph. I'm not sure. Anyways, not super important, but Black trying to take out middle tower. Rabbit's going to come in here and defend it. Does get a copy made of himself, but not too concerned about it. He's actually quite tanky. Those copies made by Morphling don't take a ton of damage. I think they take the same percentage of damage as you normally would, so it's not like other illusions which die really quickly. Inflame farming camps here in the jungle. Does have his Blink Dagger up, but he's really been suffering. Not sure what he's doing. Seems a little bit indecisive. Wants to hit them as they're running back to avoid taking damage. IO here top. Wouldn't be surprised if they roam to gank him. They actually have a smoke up here, and they're going to initiate on these two bottom. They have no idea. They do have a sentry ward up, but bear in mind, smoke was changed. No longer revealed by true sight. June backing up into the trees. Comes back out. I don't know if they'll find them. Lin looking. He does reveal that he was smoked. I don't think they're going to choose to go on him, but LGD might actually just fight on this tower. They don't really care. Yao giving sight behind the tower with his flare. Knows that at least there's a puck and a centaur there. And they're going to use the dragon form again, push the tower, continue doing damage. Lin, very tanky, can afford to stand in front. Has his recipe for his BKB just short with his mithril hammer. And he'll be a lot closer there once they take out this bottom tower. Black, not much he can do to defend bottom. Trying to push mid, but Rabbit runs back up towards mid. He's going to prevent him from taking mid tower. They have fortified, but I think that LGD is just going to continue pressuring. And Yao wants to land a hook shot here for the initiation. But LGD just leaving Dragonaut out front. They're going to let him go ahead and take out... Oh, and the initiation from DD from the trees. The epicenter instantly destroys Skywrath. June jumps in a little bit too late. Io does follow up with his Ice Blast. I think that Dragonite's going to get away. He's trying to avoid the damage. Inflame's probably going to fall. Hook shot from Clock. Bleh. Inflame does get the phase shift off. Rabbit's going to come in back from top. Lin by now has healed up. He's still going to come in. They're going to get the stun off on Black. Lin will not quite be able to close there with the... Oh, well... Oh, jeez. They wanted to kill the courier. DD might still go after it. Rabbit is actually running after the courier, but they're running it in the opposite direction. They don't want it to fall. And he has his recipe for his Lincoln Sphere, now just missing the Perseverance. The recipe being one of the more expensive components of it. Lin farming top. That was another great engagement there for LGD. They did lose the Rubik, but Rubik is their hero on their team that's the least farm dependent, and he's got a ton of items. He's not super concerned about dying. We'll see what he chooses to pick up next. Let's take a quick look at the items. 2 Blink Daggers on CIS, on the Centaur and the Puck. They do have a lot of initiation, but that initiation isn't helping them much given that they're so far behind. Not really any completed items on any of the heroes. Even Morphling hasn't finished anything besides his Ring of Aquila and his Power Treads. Meanwhile, Yao has his Mechanism up, Lin has his BKB, DD has his Blink Dagger and his Arcanes, and he's looking to make, I think, a Force Staff. DDC has Arcanes and Urn, and then Rabbit has his Hand of Midas and an Ultimate Orb up, and he's pretty much done making his Lincoln Sphere. So, not sure why it's living the recipe. He does still need to get the Perseverance. Yeah, he's going to send it back to the shop there and grab the Perseverance off of it. CIS want to take a quick tower top. Don't think it's going to be defended, but they're going to take min in exchange. And although a tower is a tower and gives gold, losing mid tower here leaves them very vulnerable to getting pushed onto the tier 3. Wouldn't be surprised if LGD went to take Roshan next. Yao wants to... looking for a hook, always looking for a hook. They all managed to dodge Puck's orb except for Weaver, but he has a regen to back it up. Does have his Lincoln Sphere up now, so he's a lot more difficult to kill. Io spots out the clock there with his Vortex. Rabbit's going to go top and farm, and I think... are they going to do Roshan? Come on, guys, do Roshan. I said you do Roshan. You should do Roshan. I don't think they're listening. So yeah, Sand King making a Force Staff, going to give him even more stun potential in terms of distance and an additional tool for evading death. Sand King, one of the heroes, very good at evading death with his Sandstorm for juking, with Blink once he gets it, with a Force Staff, with his stun giving him the ability to travel through cliffs and stuff. So they actually get a pick off on the ward here. Interesting that they noticed it was there. I've actually never seen anyone place a ward like that, but I'm not a super pro, so it makes sense that I wouldn't be quite familiar with that. Black grabs the Dragon Knight form as his illusion, kind of useful to have. If he does manage to attack the tower, we'll get that poison damage that's so effective at pushing down towers, and this tower is nearly in deny range. LGD looking to prevent it from falling. We'll see if they get another choice initiation in here on mid. Black is bottle crowing at 20 minutes in the game, so kind of sad to see, to be honest. He's just struggling to make ends meet, basically. Lin, not interested in fighting himself. He's going to bottle up and grab this Invis-Rune. Unless Black tries to jump in and stop him, he's going to jump in. He does get the invisibility, but that's not too much of a loss for LGD there. Meanwhile, Rabbit continues to farm. 11,000, almost 12,000 net worth. And Black's coming up here to... he's invisible. He's going to stop the creeps from pushing, but Rabbit has the whole rest of his team on, and DD here with the initiation there on the blink. Yao wants to find a hook shot onto the Morphling. Oh, and Weaver provides him with the sight necessary, uses the cogs for the mini stun there to hold him in place. They're going to take top tower. Nothing CIS can do to stop it. June is pushing bottom, but he's not really useful down there. And he hasn't actually, we haven't seen Centaur ult once, I don't think, this game. CIS has just been so far behind, they haven't had an opportunity to use Centaur's ult offensively. That's another tower down for LGD. And they're just going to continue building on that gold advantage. And it's going to become more and more difficult for CIS to prevent it. Sand King, oh my gosh, comes bottom, takes out the Centaur. Not quite a deny on the tower, but close. CIS, at this point, they need to take a Roshan or a really good team fight or something, or a pick off on a high value hero. If we look at kills and deaths, if they got to pick off, say, on the Weaver, they might find themselves in a slightly better position there. Not sure what they'll try and do, but it's looking pretty dire for them. And it's unfortunate because their picks have just proven to be kind of ineffective thus far. Not much. They weren't able to achieve much in the laning phase. They haven't been able to achieve much in the middle of the game. Inflame here, going to get a haste rune. And LGD is going to take Roshan. So it's a difficult situation for CIS to combat. Puck, I think, or Inflame, I think, suspects a Roche attempt is being made, but not much he can do about it by himself. His team's smoking up. This is their chance to turn the game around. If they manage to get a good fight in here, Demons can take advantage here of the choke to throw down his ultimate. Backs up. He's gonna considers ulting on Yao, but Yao has a blade mail up. Throws his ulti now that he's out of it. They lose 2 heroes for nothing. I mean, Clock does fall. But Demons is going to die as well. Rabbit's going to chase him down. I don't think he's going to be able to escape. Too much damage coming up from there. Inflame looking to back up. The initiation again from DD with the blink stun. Black's the only one left. Does have his Lincoln's finished, but he's by himself down here. And LGD is going to finish off Roshan. He's already at half health. And they're probably going to push out mid or something after that. Not much that CIS can do to stop the march of this machine here. If they'd managed to get the initiation off nicely, but Clock and Sand King just so dangerous, so much range there on their stuns, able to just hunt down anyone who's slightly out of position and punish them. Clock with his cogs really locking them in place. They managed to avoid the Ice Blast. Desolator up on Weaver. That's just a brutal item on Weaver. Does so much damage. Weaver choosing not to take the camp. Not sure why. Probably his team's probably wanting to pressure mid. DD here, just hanging out in top lane. CIS, they're looking to pick him off, I think. June comes in, they do ulti, they're going to finish him off. No way for him to escape from that. So they get a pick off on Sand King, but I feel like it's too little too late. It's 18-7 right now in LGD's favor. Rabbit, so tanky, can fight Black kind of head on here and does have his ultimate to regenerate. Black jumping back to his illusion, a little bit cheeky there, trying to get some damage in on them. And I think LGD are going to pressure this tower even though they don't have... Oh, and DDC manages to get the replicate ability from Morphling, so he's going to go ahead and use that to create a second Dragon Knight, help them out with positioning, can give them sight, and trying to get the poison up on the tower, I think, to get damage pretty much scot-free. Doesn't seem to be doing damage though, which is interesting. June attempting to do some damage to Rabbit. Rabbit just going to keep attacking the tower. They're not really able to stop him. They do blow the Lincolns there, so he backs up a little bit. Sand King moving out, probably going to want to epicenter and blink in when he gets the chance. They do have sight here from this fort, so they're going to know that Sand King is preparing something. They can back out appropriately. Sand King runs in, stuns on Io, wants to keep him from using his Ice Blast. Rabbit going to go in on him. He's forced to use it at short range. Rabbit going to get picked off, but does have an Aegis. Lin, meanwhile, pops his BKB, keeps fighting. They're going to take down mid tower. Yao doesn't manage to hit the hook, but they're going to take out mid tower there. They haven't lost anyone. They did lose the Aegis, but Rabbit's going to continue pressuring. Meanwhile, they're all pretty low on health. Hoof Stomp up on DDC. Does have a Blink Dagger. They're going to take the range tower. June comes in. Yao going to use his Blade Mail. Jumps into the ultimate from Skywrath. The Epicenter taking out one hero. They take out the Ancient Apparition. They also take out the Centaur. And they're going to keep pressuring. Not much that they can do to stop it. Puck, playing cute, goes in, uses his orb, silences for some damage, and backs up. That was a pretty good engagement for LGD. They managed to take out all the racks. They do lose their Dragon Knight. They do lose the Aegis, but that gives them an advantage they can continue building on. Going to continue with the gold deficit there for CIS. CIS now at, oh my gosh, 20,000 gold behind. And it looks like it's going to be pretty hard for LGD to lose this game. They're looking quite dominant here. They're going to... Rabbit just continuing to farm as he has done all game and being in position there for team fights. Proven to be really effective there on the Weaver. Weaver paying off in spades during the landing phase in terms of the kills they were able to secure and his survivability against Centaur. DDC here, hanging out, wants to try and deny the tower mid. Oh, they fortify a little bit early. I think they could have waited for the tower to fall into deny range. They might actually counter initiate here. DDC Uses his whatchamacallit to, I'm not sure how that the stomp got stopped. I think DDC's going to try and grab, he does grab the war run. War runs his team in, so the one-time center uses his war run, gets his team killed. Skywrath trying to ult to slow them down a little bit. Rabbit is going to fall here. Clock coming in here from the side. Not sure who he grabbed. He went here on Inflame. Inflame going to die. That's a 2-for-1 right now. Weaver buys back, uses his ultimate to come right back into where he was, because the counter starts from when you're back alive. They're going to pick off Skywrath. Skywrath's going to die, and I think this is GG. Morphling's the only one back up, and for some reason he's running up here. I think he's trying to cut the lane to reduce some of the pressure on his base. But they're going to take out bottom lane, and with only Morphling there to contest, not much they can do, and it's going to be about 15 seconds before they have at least most of their team to help fight. Morphling might even get picked off here. Black gets stunned, gets held up, and just dies. June jumps in to try and help. Demon's here trying to provide support, but all his stuff is on cooldown. Black buys back, gonna die again, potentially. Lin fighting them off, still has his BKB. They're gonna take out this bottom racks. And LGD proving pretty unstoppable here. Lin using his BKB, gonna continue fighting. He's gonna jump in, take out the other range racks. That's 2 racks for none right now, and Black, oh my goodness. Black dies again. He's bought back. There's no way he's going to come back in time. That's GG. So LGD wins the series 3-1 against CIS. A dominating performance in the last game, and they come back quite nicely from the crushing that CIS delivered to them in Game 3. The lanes just didn't go as well for CIS, and LGD proving their reliability there, continue to build on an early game advantage, and just really very few mistakes from them, taking advantage of CIS's mistakes and just waiting for those opportunities. So yeah, so that's the whole series from LGD versus CIS. I'll be finishing up some other series soon and posting them online. Thanks for listening, and that's all for now. Have a pleasant day.